Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome along to the unveiling of our new signing, NICLAS FÜLLKRUG. We'll start immediately with questions. Sky Sports. We'll start with Mauro Suma, Milan TV. Thank you, Ilaria. Good afternoon, Niklas. I wanted to ask you the following. I'm sure you'll have seen Milan this season. They're a very practical, pragmatic, solid side. And there's a great team spirit. In terms of how you are and your background, do you think you've come to the right club at the right time?
Ja, also ich denke, dass die Mannschaft, die ich hier vorgefunden habe, schon.
Yes, I think that the team I've come into has a huge ability. It's a wonderful group of players with a terrific team spirit, and I'm really impressed by the level. I've been really impressed by the great vibes that are running through this side after the game that we won away at Cagliari. I saw the energy in the dressing room after a win like that, and that's very indicative of the team that I'm currently playing for. In terms of my character, in terms of the way I am, I think I can settle in very well to this side. And I also believe that I can help contribute to the positivity and help to get results to the best of my ability. I think this really is the perfect time for me to join Milan, absolutely. Sky. Hi, Niklas. Welcome to Milan. The rumours coming out of Milanello are saying that you haven't just settled in well, you settled in very well. Everyone's delighted with you and that you're also delighted with a big smile on your face. And how does it feel to have the Milan number 9 shirt on your back? Did you have a player you idolised? And could you start the game away at Fiorentina? Are you 100% fit? Yes, I have to say that the team have really helped me to settle in. It really is a great group of players, and there's a huge team spirit and there's wonderful positivity in the side. It's been very easy to settle in. I've received a very warm welcome from my teammates. It's been an incredible welcome, and it's been very easy to settle in terms of how I feel on the training ground. And right from the word go, I've been able to give my all because I've felt at home right from the word go. As for the number 9 means scoring goals. It's synonymous with finding the back of the net. And in the past, I've not necessarily chosen number 9. I only played wearing the number 9 during my spell with the German national team and also as a youngster. So I don't necessarily have any idols. But of course, it is a number that has a lot of history to it. I know some of the players that have worn this in the past for Milan, some of the top-class players, and I hope that I can live up to the expectations of this number. DAZN. Hi, Niklas. Welcome along. I wanted to ask you how excited you were to play at San Siro for the first time last night. What's it like to play in a stadium like this? Maybe you dreamed of doing so because in the past you came close to signing for the rossoneri. What's it like to play at San Siro? Yes, 2 years ago I played at San Siro for Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. That was the first time at the stadium, so I got a bit of an insight into what it means to play in this stadium. I must say that it's very different. It's huge to play here with Milan colours. This is a magical club. There's a wonderful aura that surrounds the rossoneri, and it's a magical feeling wearing the Milan colours and playing for the club at San Siro. I'm hugely proud to have signed here and grateful to also have the opportunity to represent this institution. Yesterday I realised that the fans have given me a hugely warm welcome, very positive reception. And they really gave me a magnificent welcome. I would have loved to have scored the game, to have won the match. That would have been the perfect home debut, but it was already a good evening. Unfortunately, we only came away with 1 point last night, but there will be a number of excellent evenings to come. I have no doubt about that. Gazzetta dello Sport. Hi, Nicolas. I wanted to ask you whether, and I'm sure it is the case, but I want you to confirm as much. Have you seen any of Milan's matches before you signed? And based on what you saw, where do you think your skill set might be able to best help this team?
Yes,
I watched a number of Milan matches before I signed, and I've been following Serie A for a number of years now because I'm interested in it. I think it's a hugely interesting league, and when you watch Serie A, of course, you naturally watch some of Milan's matches too. That's why I was aware of how this team's set up and how they play. I also know about the success that this team has achieved, and also the opportunities for me to be successful as an individual in the scope of this side. As a striker, I've got a different skill set to the other attackers in the Milan squad. They've got a number of top players, but in terms of what I can offer, my skill set's very different compared to those that are very good 1v1 and dribbling. We've got a lot of quality in the final third, and you know all the players. Nkunku, Rafael, Christian Pulisic, all of the players that can operate in the final third. I think I can offer my physicality. I think I'm also someone who can play as a target man in the opposition box. I can help the team in a number of different areas, and it certainly will help the team in these areas. I'm well aware of that. In the first two matches, I've already realized that I will also need to occasionally grapple with opposition defenders, and you'll have seen that I'm willing to do so. I'm willing to work hard for the team, even when it comes to awkward challenges. Corriere dello Sport. Hi, Nicolas. Welcome to the club. I wanted to ask you whether Max Allegri has spoken to you about whether you might operate in a front three, Pulisic, Füllkrug and Leao, and whether this could be an option on Sunday already in Florence. First and foremost, I need to clarify that whatever the coach says to me is not something I'm going to be revealing to you, so I can't necessarily answer this question. But what I will say is the head coach will pick the best team, the team that has the greatest opportunity to come out on top and come away with 3 points. Max Allegri has the utmost experience. He's shown that a number of times down the years with other teams, and he's also shown that he's able to tweak his formation based on his personnel and ultimately get results. What matters is that the team are successful as opposed to individuals. As a centre forward, occasionally you can have a big impact over 25 to 30 minutes compared with those that are starting and playing for an hour or 65 minutes. But of course, I think it could be an option to play with a front three. We'll see. But what matters is getting maximum points. Unfortunately, we dropped 2 points on the pitch yesterday, but it's worth saying that we still picked up a point, and based on the way the game panned out, it is a positive result, and we want to get 3 points on Sunday to stay up near the top of the table. Tele Lombardia. Hi, Nicolas. There is a former striker who knows all about your position, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's part of the senior management. Is that added motivation for someone like you to see him in the stands, to see him at Milanello talking to you? I've already met Zlatan. I've already had the pleasure of being able to have a bit of a chat to him. Of course, I watched him play a great deal when I was a younger man. Ibrahimovic had a fairly unique skill set, and he was a comprehensive centre forward who was able to show a whole host of different abilities, all of which came at the highest level. That's why I know him very well. I think he also knows me in terms of how I am. We've chatted to one another. He's given me a bit of advice. He's given me a few pointers. And he's also told me what he's expecting, what he hopes to see from me. I haven't said anything more than that for the moment, but I hope that I can achieve what I have done on the pitch over the last few years, and I'm hugely optimistic that my performances will also be favourably received here. Milan News. Hi, NICLAS, over here. First and foremost, I'd like to ask you who's stood out to you in terms of your teammates in your first fortnight at the club. And during the talks, we know that there were also other teams interested in you, in Germany as well. What made you come and try out this new experience in Italy as opposed to heading back to your homeland? Yes, of course, we have some top-class players here at the team. Luka Modric is a hugely successful, experienced player. I played against Real Madrid in the Champions League final 18 months ago. Luka was playing for Real Madrid. He's achieved some great things in football. He's the greatest Croatian footballer of all time, and he's got some incredible ability out there on the pitch, both in possession and also when we don't have the ball in terms of the efforts he shows defensively. It really is something that has caught my eye, being able to play alongside him. It's hugely positive. We have a number of top-class players as well. I wouldn't necessarily pinpoint any others, but I think that I can definitely strike up a good rapport with the fullbacks or with the wingers in terms of the crosses that they can provide. Nkunku, Leao and Pulisic up front. I think that we can create a very harmonious front three and all benefit one another's play. Why Italy? Italy's always been a special place for me. I've often wondered whether Italy might be the right place for me. There are a number of German forwards that have played here in Serie A, like Miroslav Klose, Oliver Bierhoff, Rudi Völler. And I spoke to Rudi. He always speaks in glowing terms about Italy and about Serie A, and he congratulated me on this move, as did Oliver Bierhoff, who said that he thinks I'll be successful here. I think it is a league that fits in well with my skill set, and I hope that my skill set can also fit in well with Milan. We play with a lot of ball possession. We like to create play in the final third, set up in the opposition half of the pitch. And I hope this is the right club for me, and I hope that Serie A is a league that suits me in terms of my ability. Besides Serie A, I think Italy, in terms of its lifestyle and the club, Milan, really is somewhere that I couldn't say no to, and hugely grateful at this stage of my career that there is this confidence in me and that I can help out the team. Pianeta Milan. Hi NICLAS, welcome to the club. I wanted to ask you, given that publicly a lot of people are still talking about fourth place, Champions League football being your target, in the dressing room have you spoken about something more, maybe challenging for the Scudetto? Yesterday you were involved in a rather debatable refereeing decision. Was there a penalty on you yesterday, do you think? Wow, so many questions. Let's start with the first one.
Ich denke, dass es richtig ist, dieses Ziel Champions League auszusprechen.
I think we're right to publicly talk about Champions League football, top four finish as our target. we didn't secure that target last season, and in terms of Milan's history, they typically do play in the Champions League representing Italy on the continent. I like to focus on things that we can affect, and we can only affect the way we play, our performances out there on the pitch, starting with the next game at Fiorentina. Everything else that's further ahead is something I'm not going to consider. I want to win the next game with, I hope, an excellent individual performance to help the team win. And if we're able to come away with 3 points, we'll be 3 points closer to our final goal. And that's my mindset. I want to solely focus on what I can have an impact on and have the greatest impact, personally. As for what will come to pass at the end of the season, we shall see. But I think the more matches we win, the greater chance we'll have ultimately to have success come the end of the campaign. Could you repeat the second question, because I can't remember it? Do you think you should have had a penalty yesterday?
Yes,
there were a number of difficult situations for the referee to manage, and I do think that unfortunately decisions went against us without necessarily pointing the finger at the referee. Unfortunately, in a couple of moments, things went against us. I did feel the opposition player's foot make contact with mine, so I was sure that we were going to get a penalty given, or at least that the referee would go and conduct an on-field review. After the match, ultimately we know what the referee's decision was. Now we move on. We still had chances to win the game, and so we can't point the finger at the referee, but there were a number of refereeing decisions that didn't go our way. Calciomercato.com. Hi Nicholas, welcome to Milan. I wanted to ask you, you scored a lot of goals at Werder Bremen, you scored plenty of goals for Dortmund, you were a starter for the German national team, and yet the West Ham stint didn't pan out as you would have liked. What did you learn from the Premier League, and have you set a target in terms of goals to score between now and the end of the season? Yes, as I've already said, with Werder Bremen and Borussia Dortmund, and with Germany for those 3 or 4 years before I signed for West Ham, things went really well. I was never injured, I scored and provided assists on a regular basis, and that's the level I want to get back to. That's my goal, to try and get back to that level. I want to offer good performances and goals to the team, because I'm not happy when I'm not doing that. It wasn't easy for me at West Ham. I had lots of stops and starts for a number of reasons. First and foremost, it was a huge change for me. I was on the back of a very busy season, both with Germany and Borussia Dortmund, where I'd played 57 matches in the campaign. Heading into the West Ham move, I never missed a match. I wasn't able to get the best pre-season physically. I wasn't even able to have a full pre-season before that campaign because we had the European Championship, and I started playing for West Ham immediately without necessarily having the chance to prepare physically in pre-season. Unfortunately, things didn't work out well for me in England with West Ham. I was unavailable for fitness issues, of course, but I hope to draw a line under that. I feel very good, I feel fresh, I feel comfortable, I feel on form, and I've already felt very good in the 2 substitute appearances I've made for Milan. I've got a very good reception and been treated very well by the physios and the medical staff here at Milan right from day one. They've taken care of me as best they can, and they've given me a wonderful training program to keep me fit. They're trying to get me back to the peak of my powers. So the prospects are looking very good for the moment. I hope that things can continue this way, and if that were to be the case, I really believe that I will score goals here at Milan. As for how many, I don't know. It depends on a number of external factors that I can't affect, but what I can impact is my discipline, my hard work, and if the ball comes into the box, I will, of course, try and find the back of the net every time that the ball comes to me. As for how many goals I'll score between now and the end of the season, we'll see, but I hope to score some significant strikes. Allmilan.it. Hi, Nicholas. Best of luck for this new adventure at the club, and welcome to Milan. You've been linked with Milan a number of times in the past. How much of that was true when it comes to these transfer rumours? Were you very close to signing for the Rossoneri in the past?
No,
I don't think I was necessarily close to signing for the club. That's maybe slightly exaggerated. Yes, there was contact with the club, but I think it's a little bit of an exaggeration to say that I was close to signing for the club. There was contact. Milan have always been a significant club for me. The first time I was in contact with the Rossoneri was in 2003, when that's the first contact I had with Milan when they played the Champions League final against Juventus. It was a youth game, and I was able to actually stay up and watch the game. I was only 9 years of age. So I remember staying up late to watch the Champions League final, and that's the first time I was familiar with Milan. That's the first time I got to know the club. And then I started to watch Milan's games in the Champions League on a regular basis, and 2 years ago I played against Milan at San Siro, and I realized what a unique club it is. It's always been very clear to me that if the opportunity came along to sign for Milan, then of course I'd be hugely interested and willing to play here. Therefore, I'm very happy to finally be here. Milan News. Hi, Nicholas. Welcome to the club. I wanted to ask you, what's it been like working with Massimiliano Allegri, and do you believe that Milan might be where you can finally show your best football in your career?
Ich hoffe, der Übersetzer hat jetzt nicht falsch übersetzt. Endlich explodieren, weiß ich nicht. Aber I
hope there's not been a misunderstanding. I don't know whether Milan will be the club where I can necessarily really burst onto the scene in terms of success, but Milan could be the team that I need right now, and the club might need me at this moment in time. Namely, this is a team that gives me the platform and also gives me the self-belief and self-confidence as a centre forward, a proper number 9, as the target man in the final third. This is the role that I want to take on here at Milan. It's often a tough job, but it's a job that I'm very comfortable playing. But I think it is the right time, both for me and for Milan. We have come together just when the timing was right for both sides. It's the right time, and I hope this was the right move for me. Final 3 questions. Milan Press. Good afternoon, Nicholas. Do you feel that your plans and your experience here at Milan might necessarily go beyond this 6-month loan spell? And I also wanted to ask you whether, in your mind, do you have harbour hopes of going to the 2026 World Cup with Germany? Yes, of course. I've come here and I haven't joined other clubs at this moment in time because Milan have convinced me and I wanted to sign for the club. After 2 to 3 weeks, I already feel completely comfortable. And this is a club that means a great deal to me. There's a lot of love for Milan. And I'm a player who wants to play for prestigious clubs with huge tradition where the colours mean a lot. That's positive pressure that you have to manage. And I hope that this continues, that I still feel very comfortable going forward. It's nice to play for a successful club that tries to win every game, that's never happy with a draw. This is a club that wants to win week in, week out. We are favourites in the majority of our matches, and we need to be up to that tag of favourites, and of course that involves a lot of hard work. But this is a club and a team that wants to play that role, and I do believe I'm up to the task so that I can really thrive here. As for the World Cup, it is something special for me. I've always produced good performances for the national team over the last 18 months. Unfortunately, due to the times I've been on the treatment table, I have lost a bit of ground in the national team, and I have unfortunately had to turn down some national team call-ups due to fitness levels or injuries, and of course that's very disappointing for me. And I now hope that I can be consistently available for selection, because if I am consistently available, I do think I can make up that ground in the German hierarchy, and I can pick up where I left off the last time I played for the national team. I've got a very good goals-to-game ratio in the national team. I'd like to improve that. And I like meeting up with my German national team teammates. I adore playing for the Mannschaft and everything that pertains to the national team. So, of course, that's a crucial goal for me, just as the previous Euro and World Championships were, or World Cup, rather. Have you already visited Milan? Do you like the city? And you spoke about Oliver Bierhoff. I wanted to ask you about him. In the 1998-99 season, he scored the goals that allowed Milan to win the Scudetto in their centenary season. Do you think you can do something similar?
I've been
to Milan a number of times in the past, even before I came here to play football. I certainly don't need to go around the city as a tourist. I'm not here to be a tourist, I'm here to score goals and be successful for Milan. Just as Oliver Bierhoff did, quite rightly. Bierhoff called me, we had a chat on the phone. And he spoke to me a little bit about Milan, the city, this football club, and he also spoke to me about the magic feeling that it is playing for Milan, and that constant desire to play at San Siro to try and make our fans proud, and that's something that I also buy into. I think if we want to be successful, if we want to win football matches, then you need goals to come from the forwards. So all of us in the forward line need to make sure we do everything in our power to score goals. Rafa and Chris have already done a really good job on that score, and of course it won't hurt if there are one or two more strikers that can score a lot of goals, and that's what I'll try and do. Try and give my utmost to try and win football matches, and try and make sure that we're as high up the table as possible come the end of the season. We'll finish with Carlo Pellegatti. Good afternoon. Be careful, because it's a demanding question. It requires a demanding answer. Marko Arnautovic has given you a nickname over the years. Milan wanted to win the Scudetto and, of course, get the second star, which would be golden. In German, there's a word which is Gelöbnis, which means a solemn commitment. Do you think that winning that second star would see you have a gold tooth implanted where you're missing a tooth? No.
Das ist Teil von mir. Manche Menschen haben eine große Nase, manche Menschen haben
No, that's part of who I am. There are those who have big noses, there are others who have other physical features, and I am missing a tooth. I do have a gap near my incisors, so I'm in no way vain. There's no issue on that score. And that gap tooth will remain regardless of how the season ends up. Thank you very much, everyone. Welcome once again, NICLAS, to the club.
Grazie.
Thank you very much.